In our first series of problems in our time value of money chapter, we're going to be discussing finding both the future value and the present value of a lump sum, meaning that we have one single solitary sum. Starting off with finding future value of a lump sum. Anytime we find the future value, we can also term that compounding. There are various ways to solve these time value of money problems. Formulas, Excel spreadsheets, financial calculators. For us, the easiest way and the most efficient and accurate way to find the answers to the problems that are posed is to use a financial calculator. So that's what we're going to do. Problem, we're asked what is the future value of an initial $100 after 3 years if the interest rate is 4%. So we have $100 in our possession right now today. We are going to invest it in an account that pays 4%. We're going to leave it alone for 3 years. We want to know through the action of compounding what has our $100 grown to become. So we will be earning interest not only on our initial $100 deposit, but we'll also be earning interest on any interest that we've previously earned. So it's important for us to know what is each variable in our problem. Okay? And our time period is 3. Our interest rate is 4. Our present value, what is in our possession today, is $100. In this problem, there is no payments. The button called payment on your calculator is for an annuity problem, and we'll be solving that in our next section. But for the time being, we're looking at a lump sum. So the payment button will be 0. And then we will compute our future value. Note that when we entered the present value, it has a negative sign to it. So we need to press the change sign button, which is the plus minus key on your calculator. The reason why is that either the present value or the future value has to be entered as a negative, or your calculator just won't work. Personally, I like to let my present values have the negative sign. Okay? So if we've taken this $100, invested it for 3 years at 4%, after year 3 is over, our $100 will have grown to become $112.49. What if we were looking at the present value of a lump sum? In this case, this is the inverse of finding the future value. In this case, we are going to know what an investment is worth sometime in the future. We want to know what is it worth today. There's going to have to be an interest rate attached to that, a rate we call the discount rate. That's the rate that's available on other investments that have the same amount of risk. To understand discounting or finding the present value of something, I'd like you to watch in the concept clips discounting. And I've put that into the video reviews. So hopefully after watching that short clip, you'll have a better understanding of discounting or finding the present value of an amount. So our problem at hand is that we have an investment that's worth $100 in 3 years. So we know into the future what it's going to be worth or what it will pay. We want to know, what is it worth today, taking into consideration a 4% interest rate and a 3-year time period. So when we go to our financial calculator, we're going to input 3 as time in. We're going to input 4 as our interest rate. There is no payment because this is a lump sum problem. Our future value, what the investment is worth in 3 years, is $100. We then solve for or compute present value. And the $100 that's worth $100 in 3 years, today it's worth $88.90. Note how your display will have a negative sign to it. When you report your answer, you totally disregard that negative sign. Remember how I said earlier in this short lecture that for your calculator to work, either present value or future value has to be negative. I like my present values to be negative. So when I enter a present value, I change its sign to negative. When I solve for present value, my calculator will display a negative sign. But when I report that answer, I'll just disregard that negative sign. Here is a tutorial that I've constructed for you. It's problems 5.1 and 5.2 in our textbook. So I've worked those 2 problems for you. If you click on this link, you'll be able to see and hear me work this problem.